everyone. I hope you had a lovely spring break. As far as grades are concerned, I'm hoping to get everything up to date today. So if you handed in missed work for quarter three, that should be in today, as well as those essay grades. I'm hoping by the end of the day to have those up. If not, worst case scenario would be tomorrow. But they'll be in shortly, okay? So be aware of that. Today, you're going to be continuing along First Amendment court cases. The activity for today is extremely similar to what you have already done. I'm just going to walk you through it again just to give you some background for some of the court cases, and then hopefully you'll be on your way. It shouldn't be too bad today. It should probably be on the shorter side as far as things I've assigned. So hopefully not too terrible. Plus, I really hope it's interesting. Remember, the big idea that we're looking for is when can your freedom of speech rights be taken away from you, right? There are limits, as you've already seen with some of those court cases, to what you can say. It's not a blanket statement. First Amendment, you can't say whatever you want, right? We already saw with some of those other court cases that if it's a time of war, it can be restricted. If it is encouraging somebody to hurt another person or that they are going to hurt another person, it can be stopped. And there are other limits, okay? So let me walk you through the court cases. You have 4 that you're going to be looking at today. All right, so this should look very similar to last time we met, or I guess that was a week ago or whatever, for our cases. You'll be describing the facts of the case, the key arguments, the legal questions. Reminder, this is going to be tied to what First Amendment right is it in question. So always be thinking, what is the legal question as far as First Amendment right is concerned? The actual decision of the Supreme Court, and then if any key vocabulary are applied, and I will try and get that up with the assignment as well so that you can reference it if need be, although you did get that the last time. You are looking at 4 court cases today. First is U.S. versus Nixon. Okay, this is a oddity one. For example, the vocabulary be executive privilege. It fits into freedom of speech with what rights does a president have to actually be compelled to speak, right? So it's not just your freedom of speech if you can say whatever you want. You also have the ability to refuse to say what you want. And that would be what you're looking at with U.S. versus Nixon during the time of the Watergate scandal. The second one is the Nationalist Socialist Party versus Skokie. This is an interesting one as well. Not only is it dealing with your freedom of speech to be able to say what you want, but also your freedom to assemble. There are some restrictions there. If it's going to cause violence, whether it's what you're saying or what you're doing, there are some limits there. And this is a story that's dealing with Nazis. So you can kind of read through that and figure out, like, do Nazis have the right to assemble in a mostly Jewish town? So that one's kind of interesting. Then we have Hazelwood School District versus Kohlmeyer. This is more typical of what you see with schools. And basically how your right to freedom of speech is restricted within the school system. Because it is. Tinker versus Des Moines was actually an odd case. That's one of the few times that they actually do side with the students. In most cases, like Hazelwood, the Hazelwood case, you'll see that that's not always the case. There are some restrictions within school that can be legally upheld. Finally, you have Ellis versus the United States, which you see it's 2015. So that actually is not that long ago. And it's interesting because it's dealing with how does art fit into this situation, as well as how does technology, because this deals with Facebook posts and this guy Ellis, who believes that he's a wannabe rapper. And he makes some threats towards his ex-wife about killing her and shooting up her classroom because she was a teacher. He also writes about threatening an FBI agent. You're going to read all about that in the article for this, and you'll be seeing. There's also going to be a short video posted. And I'll show you the article that you're going to be reading. It doesn't give you what the decision was. So you're going to, in order to answer that last question, you are going to have to watch the short video or videos that I post with this, okay? just so that you know where you're getting this information. I'm going to attach it all to the assignments again, but it is that same PDF that you worked with last class. So you're going to have to flip halfway through in order to find US versus Nixon. And then it goes pretty much in order. Ellenus is a separate reading, and let me actually pull that up for you. So it looks something like this, and I will fix that viewing part of this. It gives you the whole circumstances. Again, the only thing that's missing from this is the decision, which will be in the videos. When it says determine whether Ellenus is violating the First Amendment with his expression, this should help you with the legal question, but you do not need to answer the yes or no. Okay, so ignore that section of it. You do not have to do that. The only thing that I'll be grading checking is that chart. So you don't have to worry about filling that out. If we had class time, we would, but I don't want to take up too much of your time by having it, you know, having you fill that out along with the chart. So the chart is what's important. Again, you'll have to watch those two, or I think it's two videos that kind of go through the results of the case to see what finally happens. Although certainly you can think about whether or not you think Ellenus should be supported in this case. So if you guys have any questions, please reach out. I'll be checking my email. And again, Zoom meetings will resume this Friday. I'm going to try and have more Zoom meetings probably starting next week during the week. One of the things that they've told us is they've given us times as far as social studies is concerned, and unfortunately we are from the 9 to 10 range. So they'll never be mandatory, but I'll have some days between 9 and 10 that you'll be able to Zoom chat or, you know, ask questions, or we can go through stuff. I do miss you guys. It's been a while. You know, hopefully we'll see each other soon. But you know that we've been extended to May 20th now. So we can only wait and see. I hope everybody is well. If you have questions, please reach out, okay? Bye.